Ladies and gentlemen, after, for me personally, a very frustrating stint numero uno, we are back with stint number 4. My name is Flipsy, and I will lead you through this whole stint together with my most favorite man in the world. Hey, Charles.
Hi, Flipsy. Yeah, let's go. The race starts. Taro already looking on the inside. On Sommer, focusing more on the GT field for now.
Which is no surprise, to be honest, because when I also came with the Aston Martin out of the last corner when we have the flying start, you have so much speed going onto the start-finish straight that you nearly can overtake one or two cars. Maybe it's because of the setup, maybe not, but we can see Octavian already trying to attack Otaku on the inside on a double right-hander. And Otaku might get the better exit now, but Octavian smashes the car right in front of him.
Yeah,
Left the Lexus has...
XX Pro already on the bumper of Otaku. This is going to be very delicate into the next braking zone. Oh, 3 wide here.
Ooh.
Bit more action than I would like. XX Pro passes the WSR car for a moment there.
And Otaku loses 2 positions in lap number 1. Octavian leads the GTE field, Pro is right behind him, and Otaku is in P3. Neuersommer right behind them, and Taro in P5.
That was very impressive racing standard from all three. That was fair in the tight corner on the straight, and XX Pro and Otaku gave each other the room they needed. It would have been very easy for both drivers to squeeze the other out of track, but that was very fair, high sportsmanship here.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of amazed by Octavian for now. He got called yesterday as a substitution for Zemitz, who sadly cannot race in this stint, but let's see where he ends up with the Porsche at the end of this race. We need to see. Pro misses the braking point for the double right-hander in the second right-hander, which opens up Otaku the option to overtake him, as he does.
Yeah, just slightly ahead. If I were Otaku, I would squeeze to the inside line to cover that and make it more difficult for Pro.
Yeah, wait a second. Joel, aka Neuersommer, tries to attack Pro, but he backs out, and Taro nearly loses the car coming out into the chicane. So
in front, I would go to the front for a moment. Rotec leads the hypercar by 2 seconds ahead of Shishi, and then we have Chaos Hill in third position, also 2 seconds behind.
Yeah, let us come back to the GE field now, because Otaku is still right behind X-Pro, and Neuersommer trying to maybe get a maneuver done here, which would be very interesting. I'm kind of surprised I'm seeing a lot of cars having trouble with the grip on this track now. Could it be that due to the different times that the cars have trouble on this track, depending on the setup?
For once, yes, the time of day changes the handling. But now I think the track should be maybe even the quickest. Temperatures should still be high enough from the day, so the car have enough grip. But it's also a bit cooler than at the highest temperatures of the day, so that's better for the engine, and you should potentially see the quickest lap time now. That's what I theorize, but yeah, it could also change a bit of the handling. I'm not too sure how it affects, but it's apparent that everything on time of day will affect the handling a little bit, and that can favor some cars over others, or some settings over others.
Yeah, that's true.
Sommer lost a bit, is now second behind. Has to slot in and wait for a moment. to attack again. Can you give us an insight how bad it is to follow another fellow GT3 car when with dirty air? How challenging is that?
It really depends on the setup you're driving. For me personally, I had a lot of issues following a GTE car. Not only because you had so much understeer in the S's or in general throughout some corners, but when you kind of managed to get close to the car in front of you and maybe try to attack in the next corner, you have so much overspeed that you need to brake way earlier, otherwise you're going to end up in the rear of the car. And to do so, you're going to lose all the advantage you gained coming into the rear of the car, which means you really need to manage your finest driving to try and keep it down on the car ahead of you. Otherwise you're going to lose traction. Maybe your car is going to understeer heavily on a very random place where you normally thought it's going to be easy, especially if you come into the first of the two right-handers. It's very easy to just understeer out on the left curb and become a lawnmower. It's very easy to do so. Especially one other place beside the S's and the double right-hander is the chicane, especially the exit. Not only the entry is very heavy for you because you understeer through it, but also the exit might lead you into the wall on the left side. So it's very tricky. It's very hard, but once you follow the car the way you want to, and get your chance to overtake, just hope you do it as soon as possible.
Rotec is now closing in on the Group 3 cars. He already cleared Taro in 8th position, but now all the other cars coming up, and they're really close together. This is very important, get through traffic quick, but most importantly, cleanly.
Yes. Little bit disappointing that the Aston Martin is losing so much time. I mean, I was also racing in the last stint for now, and I had so much troubles with the car. In the first part, I must say that I kept it clean. I was pushing. I had a good feeling about it, maybe trying to even catch the WSR car in front of me. But after that, it just went horribly wrong. I had oversteer coming out of every corner. I spun the car multiple times because I just had no grip, and it was absolute chaos to drive. And I don't know if it's the setup, I don't know if it's the track that just didn't make any sense, or if it's just the grip that didn't work in some places. It's a really disappointing...
Oh, Shishiman! Shishiman spun, last corner. Sorry for interrupting, but he spun and has damage. They moved it down to P3, Carswell now in 2nd position. And with that damage, this early, this could affect the strategy. Maybe we see a very early pit stop here.
Yep, let's see. Dropping Reaver, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Digital Endurance series. I hope you enjoyed the stream so far. And take your time, take your seat, and enjoy the race you see. By the way, I just saw that Mr420 Gaming resubscribed to our channel. Thank you very much for the support, my friend. Thank you very much. That's another issue that I currently have, that for some reason...
Lipsy, I'm not sure.
I can hear you.
Okay. Then I shut up.
That's the most annoying thing that I have currently going on, is that for some reason my internet is so stupid that it just restarts the voice chat. For any reason it disconnects me for a whole second from some, and I'm just not able to hear anything, or they cannot hear me. It's just super weird.
Anyway, Shishiman stayed out, so he's going with his original strategy and he just lives with the damage he has.
Yeah.
Then we have XX Pro in P5 with a half-second time penalty. That could be the change Otaku needed to get back into P5. I lost a bit now to traffic. He's closing in very quickly, but he's still behind in the braking zone. Not quite enough for Otaku.
Yeah. I just did some research regarding the other lobby, because maybe we thought I can show you what's going on, and I just realized that they just started for now. And they might restart as well if EJ will be able to join the lobby, which is a kind of an interesting procedure, because if the lobby already delays about 10 minutes, why would you want to restart the lobby if just another driver joins? We cannot join. It's hard luck. It's sad for WSR that there is no chance of continuing this stint. But what do you want to do? Let me just show you what is going on in the second stint. As you can see in the right picture, or the right video, Eiffel Blitz leads the field away. Slimmy Cam in P2. Distinct Marco in 3. And they are actually restarting. What a stupid move, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not having the full information, but usually the lobby waits for a driver and restarts a maximum of 1 time, so not sure if this is full protocol. Yeah, definitely a time loss in the schedule. Yeah, but we both have driven 2 stints and commentated 2, so on the other hand, I'm quite happy with the delay that we have a little bit longer of a break.
Yeah. Considering delays and breaks, big L, common L for lobby 2. Talking maybe about the next race that is ahead of us. We will race a 24-hour race at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. What a coincidence. We both have been to this year's 24-hour race at the Nordschleife. Do you maybe want to take a little rewind back to May and maybe tell us what to expect from this race?
Yeah, gentlemen, 30 years back in past, no. Yeah, we had a meetup with Dele Vegeta, who's not driving today, with Flipsy, myself, and we went to the Nürburgring 24 hours, and the first day was, I think, the Friday, and that was already quite interesting to see the whole starting grid the very first time, the support races, and the huge amount of people interested in celebrating the race. And yeah, come race day, it was actually insane how much was going on there, how many people, and stadium, all grandstands were fully packed. The race was brilliant. One might think you are sitting there and watching a 24-hour race that must get boring at some time, but so much is happening, and strategy comes into play, accidents and crashes happen, and teams fight back their position, lose some places, so much going on, and you realize, oh, we are sitting here for like 4 hours already, what felt like an hour maybe.
Yeah.
It was just fantastic. The cars are amazing, the sound, you smell the rubber in the air, it's just motorsport heaven really, and I think we stayed until like 9. were back at 11 and started driving back maybe at 6 and were there at 7. So out of 24 we were, I don't know, maybe 16 hours there or so, and we didn't regret that. It was absolutely amazing, and I think we're all looking forward to do that again next year.
Maybe even in a larger group, to be honest, but I don't think that we all can stay at your place like we did. But I think everything is manageable, and in case our group is interested in it, I highly recommend doing it again because it was so enjoyable. Not only the fact that it was just us 3 or let's say 4 with your dad together spending time and enjoying the 24-hour race, but it was the whole climate in general. We had lots of fun, enjoyed it completely. It was just fun. You've seen cars racing on the track. You just got the real vibe of it.
Yeah, I reckon within the next 2 months the tickets for next year goes on pre-sale, and then we organize something, and then we look how we accommodate everything. But yeah, definitely a thing we would do again. Confi was with the RRC guys at Le Mans. He spoke very highly of that event. So in general, if you have the chance to experience motorsport in your area, take a chance. It's definitely worth it.
By the way, sometimes I'm the biggest quote maker on earth. You just saw cars racing on the track. I mean, you saw it in real life. It's a big difference of just seeing it on TV or in a video game. It's just a whole different scene.
The feeling of being there, maybe comparable with listening to music or visiting a concert. They're both great, but it's a different experience at the end.
Yeah, it's just nice to see. So
I'm looking at XX Pro, who is lapping sometimes quicker or matching the lap times of Octavian. Octavian slightly harder on his tires. But so far in these almost 20 minutes, Octavian is doing a very great job, reconsidering that he jumped in as a reserve driver, I think yesterday or the day before that. Yeah. So very little to none preparation for him, and he jumps in and is instantly on pace.
At least one yellow GT3 that works. Just had to be careful because I didn't want to jinx anything.
Flipsy, do we have any new updates on Lobby 2?
Let me look. They are racing. EJ finally joined, and with a delay of 18 minutes they started their stint. EJ leads away in front of Eiffel Blitz, and third is Slimicam, which completes the hypercar grid in Lobby 2. And Marco leads in a Ferrari for GTE class, right behind him is Mega L in the Mercedes, and after that is Schroeder in the McLaren, as well as Tornado in the Lamborghini, and Kickmack in the Mercedes for GTA Racing. So, we have a little bit of time left in the other lobby. As well as, wait, that's the wrong screen. I could maybe show you in this way. Maybe it will work. Yes, it works. Perfect.
Shishiman is doing consistent lap times. He is nevertheless about a second slower than Cowsville. So, Plexus is writing that real life, never touch grass, man. Yeah, that's a true gamer right there. I wouldn't advise touching grass in video games either. just to be clear.
Yeah, that's a common thing you shouldn't do. I'm just looking at Octavian, who has a big time loss in the last 2 laps. Did a 1 minute 18.3 or 0.4 in both last laps, which has led Pro to regain a little bit on Octavian. It's now a 1
I'm
second gap
interested
to him.
to see if he can continue this trend in catching up, or if Dirty Air is too powerful and like a magic barrier, and he just stays at this.
We have to see. Pro is a driver who can deliver. He has delivered in the recent events, as far as I remember. For Gran Turismo Friday, he is a consistent and fast driver. We need to see. But for now, it seems like that the Porsche even pulls the BMW away, even though the BMW is in the slipstream. So I think that the Porsche has got a lot of top speed, and the BMW might be better throughout the corners. Which actually would benefit Octavian.
Yeah, Otaku is behind that. Lost a bit of ground, but within 3 seconds, so not completely out of the equation. Saves a lot of fuel if you compare the fuel tank of Octavian. So it's between 20 and 25.
Ooh, we have got a yellow flag, and Chaosville has got engine damage. There was a huge crash for the young man from DON. That is going to be a pit stop, and
Yeah, definitely.
very unfortunate for him.
Shishiman is going to get him. He just cleared Pro and Octavian on the short straight. Yeah, and with that damage, yeah, Phil is a sitting duck on the straight. And that goes quite easily now. Shishiman back in P2, but already with a 3/4 minute gap to Rotek. Rotek, yeah, have to praise him for the first 20 minutes. Keep that up. And Pro really closing in. Maybe Octavian lost a bit of momentum, but the gap is clearly below a second.
And Octavian already playing mind games with Pro.
Yeah, flashing lights is okay if you don't overdo it. Occasionally, I think once per lap is okay, if I'm not mistaken. It's definitely something I will take use of in the next stint, which is fully dark, just to make sure that I'm seen. Octavian is under a lot of pressure. It's going wide a little bit. That gives Pro the chance to dive on the inside. He does so. Overshoots slightly, and Octavian, with a better acceleration on the exit, can go back. Taking a little bit of slipstream. Not quite enough on the inside. Will be tied.
Octavian has got more top speed.
Yeah, bit of side drive, both late on the brakes.
Leaving each other room.
Yeah, slightest of touches, but I think that was clearly not intended. Very well driven by both. And Pro will probably cover the inside line, and that will be it. He does not, at least him vulnerable. A great attack from Octavian.
Overtook on a place where you wouldn't think someone would.
Yeah, you can see how much better the BMW is set up for the corners.
Yeah, but the thing is that both cars have got the same amount of tire wear, and the BMW has got a little bit more fuel consumption. Although Octavian has made a mistake now, it's going to be interesting to see where this ends up. Rotek has got a little bit of traffic.
Yeah, it costs a little bit. That's essentially given. Pro not really clearly indicating where he wants to go. That's actually worse for the hypercar.
And Otaku making aware of it and flashing the lights. Let's see. This trio is going to be very interesting throughout the race. But Octavian has got a little bit of a consistency issue.
Yeah, I think he has slight problems with the last corner of the S section, the final corner of turn 1, of sector 1, sorry. It tends to overshoot it and is a bit late on the brake, on the throttle sometimes. That's how Pro got the overtake done. To be fair, you have to be very aggressive with the track limits on this part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and suddenly Otaku's back in the game. Noazama and Taro driving a race on their own, essentially. And I'm not sure if we mentioned that, but Noazama with damage on the rear.
Unlucky for him. But what is interesting is that Lexus has got way less fuel consumption than all the other cars. And I wouldn't even say that he is trying to manage his tires or fuel either. I think Lexus has got a huge advantage on this track.
Now, one has to ask if they maybe play with the engine mode, so they save fuel that way. But if that's not the case, then it's apparent to me that the Lexus has the advantage on fuel on all other cars.
Did you hydrate during the race? You must have some sweaty hands as well, so don't forget to sanitize.
Good sound alert, Marlon. Hydrate. Always hydrate.
I'm following Cowsville, and he's still around 1 second quicker than Shishi. Shishi obviously has damage, but less fuel, so the car's a bit lighter, but it still evens out about 1 second at the moment. And Shishi has to go about 10 more laps in the stint until he can pit. Lap 35, 36 is the estimated window, so Cowsville could come close to around 40 seconds here.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm comparing all three hypercars, and I've seen that Rotec maybe has got the biggest tire wear, but look at the battery of all three of them. Rotec has got a little bit less than a half left. Meanwhile, the others haven't got anything left.
That only can mean that Shishi and Cowsville drive normally, and Rotec is actively recovering battery.
And I mean, he's even fast.
Yeah, lap time wise, it's very decent. And it could be quicker, but when we're considering that he's actively recharging the battery, then the lap times are really strong.
We are closing in to the first pit stops that are planned and not forced. And looking through the field in the GTE class, I think that Taro managed to find the rhythm for him. Kept it really consistent throughout the last laps. Nayazama had one lap where he lost a little bit of time, but also he has got his rhythm. And Otaku, Octavian and Pro haven't made any changes here so far.
Will be very interesting to see. Shishiman is 1 minute behind Rotec, so if this continues like this for the next 10 laps, it will be very close to being lapped already. Cowsville lost a bit of pace, had a very slow lap of 1 minute 11. We see that 2 cars, maybe even 3 cars behind. Yeah, he had to go through Otaku, Octavian and Pro X. So that's probably why he had a slow lap time. Yeah, we have Rotec in the pit lane, very early stop, half an hour, so that's probably a 3-stopper.
If it suits him better to go through safely, why not?
Yeah, he was aggressive on tires. I was a bit concerned looking at them if he can go the further 7 or 8 laps. It's definitely more safe like this, and it shouldn't make too much of a difference. Very good news for him. He's coming out on clean track. There's no one really around him apart from one GT.
It's Chaosful in the hypercar.
Ah, okay. I even.
Ooh, this is gonna
comes
be
out the
close,
truck.
but he comes right ahead of him. So a little bit lucky for Rotec there.
Yeah, definitely better situation because it looks really close between those two, but they are in different laps. Rotec is a full lap ahead.
Yep.
So if Cowsville would have been ahead, he would have had to give up that position anyway because of blue flags. Charles is enough. We have Taro in the pit lane for a scheduled pit stop. The Aston is dry. There's not much more left in the fuel tank, so that's an early pit stop for Taro. And I assume Zomo will be in the pit lane, Poctavian and also Pro X will pit in this or the next lap. I think only Otaku is capable of extending this stint a little bit further.
Really concerned to see how much Taro is going to refuel, and he refueled up to 68 liters in the tank. So he is going for a 2-stop as well. Shishima needs to be cautious because he is right at the back of Octavian and Yeses.
Yeah, didn't get past. There's a small window. If you're really close, you can go around the outside. But yeah, the other car has to see you and play along, and you can't make it if you're too far behind. Timing has to be really close and right. Octavian lost quite a bit to Pro X. The gap's 2.5 seconds. In the meantime, Otaku got closer within a second. So after a strong start for Octavian, it looks like it's going a bit more backwards for him. Yeah, using the indicator is going to pit, and Pro X as well. Otaku, as anticipated, is staying out. Octavian already back on track with 51 liters. Pro X goes for a very long pit stop, 65 liters, so about 15 liters more fuel for Pro X. That cost him the position. And they rejoin in P6 and 7. Sommer jumped both of them, but Sommer will pit at the end of this lap, and Otaku got through as well. Need to pit maybe in 2 to 4 laps distance. Shishiman still out. Lost a bit of time, had a slow lap 2 rounds ago. The gap from Carlsville almost at the estimated 40 seconds, so he's making up ground quick. But still a long way for him to get in at the end of the race. Still not quite sure what Phil's strategy is going to look like now.
Maybe it's a 3-stopper as well. Let's say a forced 3-stop.
Sommer in the pit lane. Yeah. He will fall behind Octavian and Pro, but should stay ahead of Taro. Very long stop for him. He's taking 81 liters of fuel. I think that's sufficient for the next 3/4 hour. Pro X was about 2 seconds, I think, ahead of Octavian. Now he's more than 7 behind, so he lost around about 10 seconds in the pit lane in comparison to Octavian. And I think they're both going for the same amount of stops, so it will come in handy with a shorter pit stop later, but he's carrying a lot more of weight on this part of the race, which will hurt his tires. It's more weight generally, so it will affect his pace. I'm not sure if I understand that strategy call. "38 minutes in, Shishiman still not in the pit lane. I think the only one who hasn't pitted, except Otaku, of course. Usually you want to be around the 40-minute mark, but given the damage he has, I would take an earlier pit stop because he is losing at least a second a lap here. Oh, he doesn't listen to me. Who am I to judge? Yeah, just taking into perspective that Carlsville had 50 seconds gap to him, now it's 12 seconds less.
Maybe Shishi wants to keep the strategy. Might lose more time when he goes into the pits. It's also quite interesting to see what kind of assistance maybe some drivers have got on their cars on. If you see Rotek, there's only ABS as a driving help, driving assistance, Shishiman as well. Chaosville, there's everything going on, which is no issue, to be honest. I mean, everyone can drive with his driving assistance as he wants to. Yeah, I should maybe turn on assistances as well. Maybe traction control or something.
Yeah, to 6, please.
Give me 5 laps, I'm going to spin the car either way. Oh man. Well, there is a change in the lead. Or not in the lead, in P7. Tauro has overtaken Mayazama, who was in the pits, I think.
Yes, somehow was in the pit and took about 80 liters. That's why he lost so much time. And now after 40 minutes I expect Shishiman to pit soon. He's in the last chicane.
Or is he not? He isn't.
He doesn't.
Shishi
Okay.
man doing Shishi things. Very interesting indeed. I would predict that maybe Otaku's coming into the pits this lap.
I don't comment. I'm just having the wrong call every time.
Yep, the same goes for me.
Not this time around. Going back to Shishi, he has Zoma ahead, you can clear him on the straight, and then Taro in front. Goes a bit wide. And that was actually quite close. If he would have went into the pit lane, he would have maybe collected the Porsche of Sommer.
And he still goes wrong.
Oh no, Taro's in the wall. Taro in the S section in Sector 1 collected the wall and has damage on the bumper.
That's unlucky.
Interesting that Rotec closed the gap almost to Shishiman on track to make it almost a full lap. Obviously, it will be over a lap once Shishi is going to pit. Like Otaku, yeah, now Shishi comes in as well. I predict that Otaku will be behind Octavian and Pro X. But should definitely be somewhat close. And Kausel will retake second position from Shishiman. Yeah, Plexus is writing. Jetty did a flipsy.
Taro's in the pits. No tire change on refueling and getting the damage repaired.
Otaku on pit exit is ahead of Pro X. Behind, 2 seconds behind Octavian, but 3 seconds ahead of Pro X. So having a lot refueling costs Pro X essentially 2 positions.
Now Shishi man finally with a car without damage. It was a long way for him. Plex, right? You quite ignored that comment. Yep. He's unavailable for comments, Plexus, I'm afraid. Anyway, situation is as followed. Rotek is leading after the first round of pit stops. With different strategy than Cowsill and Shishiman, but 1 minute 40 ahead. So that's not too far off being 2 laps, 1.5 laps than we have. After Cowsill Shishiman, he's 20 seconds behind. That's the hypercar class. In first position for the GTs is Octavian again. After he lost the position on track to Pro X and rather aggressive strategy call with refueling the car little less than the others. He got that position back. Taku went really long, is in second position in class. Yeah, I'm curious about his pace, if it's going to be quicker in the middle or the slowest. Pro X maybe the quickest over Stint. Had the earlier pit stop and around the same weight, worst tires than Otaku. So I'm curious to see if he can re-overtake him once more. And then we have a larger gap until we come to Summer in the Porsche in 7th position and Taro a bit out of contention in 8th position. Möglich, so eine Situation hatten wir noch nie. Müssten wir dann erst besprechen.
Maybe I'll take one for the team. We have to see. We have to see. Octavian, 3 seconds ahead. Wait, hold on a second. When did that happen?
Yeah, Octavian aggressive in the pit stop with taking less fuel, and he used to, or he was ahead of Otaku. He's still ahead, but X Pro really overfueled the car by around 15 liters, so that's why Pro X lost so much time in the pit lane.
Okay, thanks for the update. Even though I'm streaming, I didn't get what happened. That's something you have to do first. Oh boy. You didn't miss anything, Blaxus. It's everything fine.
Maybe you have another update for us of Lobby 1. How's the situation there?
We lobby 1. Hold on a minute. I just have to leave my bed. Here, lay down. Give me a goddamn second.
Don't spin.
Nearly did. So you see your split screen. EJ seems to be leading still. So the hypercar class didn't change at all. Distinct Marco leads the GTE field. So there has been no real change, to be honest. And Schroeder keeps it in P3 for now. So RC having a good race in the second lobby.
P5, P6 is quite interesting now. Pro X has closed the gap to Otaku in front. Yeah, it's really close. And the slipstream will go to the inside. Otaku's not fighting it too much. Now they are level into the braking zone. That should be a done maneuver for Pro X. Yeah, and Otaku slots in behind. Pro X now in 5th position. Otaku demoted to P6.
I have a short question about the BMW. I'm gonna start at the back. So you see the throttle indicator or telemetry, whatever. You see that Tara has got the maximum of it, and on the right hand side there's nothing else. Same goes for Summer. Same goes for Otaku, and same goes for Poctavian.
So?
But what is about Pro? Is it normal that a BMW's got a turbo in the car? I'm just asking, so there's... I don't want to do any confusion.
Honestly, I don't know if that car is a turbo by default or not.
Can anyone check by any chance if the BMW M6 is the only car that has got a turbo on the grid? Or if we just found something interesting? It might be...
Yeah, I do hope that's the default, and otherwise, yeah, the penalty, if done more than one time, would sadly be disqualification.
BMW busted. we just wait and see. We just wait and see, because I don't want to let any confusion or anything. But I just wondered, because you know there's a turbo going on, and the Porsche has none, the Lexus has none, and the Aston Martin hasn't got a turbo as well. Even if you would hear it. And you do. I think it's normal, to be honest, so sorry for the confusion, but I just got interested there. So I think everything is fine.
In Hypercar, Shishiman got the gap down from 20 to 14 seconds now, so he's lapping quicker than Carousel at the moment. But he also has to look behind as Rotek is approaching. About 5 seconds, and then Rotek has him lapped. Twice. Looking at pit stops, I think we see Rotek at the 1 hour mark, so he will do one more pit stop than Chaos Phil, I think so. Definitely one more pit stop than Shishiman. And Shishi just overtook Taro, that lost him a bit of time. And I'm seeing blue flags for Shishiman given for Rotek. And that's really something you don't want. You have to slow down, let the leader pass, and then you're in the dirty air. That means the next 2 seconds behind that car is pretty much undrivable anyway, so you lose another 2 seconds right there. But yeah, Rotek is there, and Shishiman doesn't really have a choice here. Yeah, not now at the moment. Oh wow, yeah, one can see Rotek sliding up the hill through turn 1. It's quite horrible to follow another hypercar that close. Yeah, this part isn't flat out anyway. Okay, warte mal. Ich drücke auf Share, Share Screen, Share... Ja. Sag mir, wenn du den Stream wieder anmachst, dann kümmere ich mich um den Rest.
Oh, due to Olga issues, you're going to see Charles's view. Just for a short minute. I hope that the in-game sound is still on. But for some reason, it's not. Might be just an in-game issue, but nevertheless, you see, we're going to watch Charles's screen. I need to do some organizational stuff. In-game sound is on.
Perfect. Yeah, okay. You can take the break you needed, and you can let me know when you're back. In the meantime, I'm following Rotek, who is the leader, and you can see in front is Shishiman. He's already lapped down. Is going to lap now twice, but he's not letting Rotek pass. Rotek is clearly within a second for I think 3 laps now, and had 2-3 good opportunities just like this, and Shishiman is ignoring blue flags. And I know I'm not making any friends here, but I think the blue flags rules are not in a way we need it, because this is worth maybe in worst case 3 seconds, because we have 3 sectors in this lap, and that's totally of 9 seconds, but you're potentially ruining the race of the leader, not only for the stint but for the overall victory here. Now Rotek finally got through, which was more than a real overtake rather than letting go. He lost a bit of momentum. I do hope Shishman knows his place as a lapped car. Yeah, he touches him and he spins. And I'm not feeling too sorry for that, to be honest. He had that coming 3 or 4 laps, should have just lifted and let it go, and with all the slipstream and a slower car in front, yeah, really unnecessary for him. He lost 13 seconds now instead of maybe 3-4 seconds. Yeah, writing thank you in chat. I think it was a difficult situation there, but that's on him, not on the others. Anyway, it's his decision if he wants to write a message and lose another 3 seconds for that. With 58, 59 minutes, Rotek is coming into the pit lane at the end of this or next lap anyway. So, yeah, really unnecessary in my opinion. Looking through the field once more, Octavian still the leading GT car, 3.5 seconds of Pro X, so the gap came down. I think it was 7 seconds at the start of the stint, so Pro X cut that in half. But Rexy still in P4. P5, Pro X has Shishiman behind, who goes for the lunge into turn 1. Luckily, Pro X saw him. I think there was bit risky, but it played out fine at the end. And Otaku, a bit disappointing in this part. I thought, given the tire advantage, he would be closer. And sixth position with 3.5 seconds behind. So I think we stay for Octavian for the moment. If you want to see a specific driver, you can trigger a channel reward, and then I can go to that driver. Hashtag sellout. Octavian has to be praised, really. As mentioned before, he came in no earlier than Thursday and took on the vacant spot of another driver with little to no preparation. He's doing a very excellent job here. And I think now with more than 40 laps under his belt, he really found his rhythm. I think in the beginning it looks a bit unround. Not sure if that's a word, but yeah, he obviously had some areas where he did mistake, but now he's really in the rhythm and doing good and consistent lap times. His fuel lasts, what's that, maybe 15 liters left, so that's definitely less than Pro X is having with 25. Going to Rotek as he is in the pit lane. After 1 hour, the second stop. 2 more for him. 2 more stints. This one, and then he pits at around 1.5 hours and goes to the end. I'm afraid for him he's coming out in traffic. You can see on the map there are 3 cars approaching turn 1. It's a bit unfortunate for him, but with the lead he's having right now in this race, it shouldn't hurt him too much. Well, yeah, but as always, it's only half the truth we know. What's going on in second lobby is quite important. Rotek was, I think, quite close there to the line, but it must have been fine. So we have Chaos Hill in second position, and Shishiman with 24 seconds behind Chaos Hill. Nothing too crazy. 1 minute 8 and 9 is a bit slow. Can be due to traffic. But Cowsville is probably the next one we have in the pit lane. 1 hour 20 is the goal you want to pit, but Cowsville was in the pit lane for an unscheduled stop. He had to repair damage, so he's a bit out of sync. Maybe he can go to 1 hour 15, then it would be 45 minutes. 45 to 50 minutes is probably the goal, and then he can go to the end with that stop. Has to look after his tires a bit more, but in general, no additional stop needed. Shishiman, 1 stop for him definitely, so if there's not a second stop from Cowsel, he has to fight back on track. And then we go to the GTs. Very interesting race. I think Octavian, I would say, was the slowest of the 3 before the first pit stop, but now he improved himself and is on level. Maybe a little bit slower than Pro X, still 3.5 seconds between them, so nothing huge. Just to take the full grid, we have Sommer still in 7th position. To be fair, lap times have stabilized itself, and the gap to Otaku in front is more or less the same. So some are doing a good job. Definitely not the best beginning, but he has improved quite well. And Tauro in P8. Yeah, if we look at that, a personal best with the 18.0. Working on him and improving further and further. Octavian's fuel's already blinking red, so that means not much left. And with 55 minutes to go, it would be a very long stint. I'm not sure what's the best situation to go here from this point onward. Medium tires can't be truly it. On the other hand, you don't want to stop twice. I reckon you have to pit and somehow make the best of the soft tires and bring them home somehow, even if it's quite a longer stint. Pro X definitely plans to extend his stint for at least 10 minutes, I'd say. So is Otaku. And Chaos Hill behind is going to lap all three, riding on board with the Toyota. Through the S corners, Otaku positions himself on the left side. A little bit of slipstream can help, and yeah, Otaku, well done, is aware of the driver, so Kausel can go down the inside before the braking zone. And that's clever racing. Usually the GT cars have to ride for the line, but obviously you can't ignore that the other car is there, and there will always be some time loss, and in this case both managed by both drivers. In front, that's Pro X. Missing the apex. Oh, it was contact. Missing the apex and then turning back, and contact with Toyota was made. No damage for both, but yeah, I just praised a good racecraft and awareness, and that was a case where it was tighter than it used to be, and yeah, luckily the car got loose, but he caught it. Because up that hill, it's not a place you can see a lot when you're arriving. If not only one but two cars are standing sideways there. I'm happy that went out in a good manner. We have Tower in the pit lane, and I'm switching to him soon. Just checking if Octavian is going to pit. No, he stays out, so we'll see what's in store for Tauro. Tauro has damage in the front, so that's going to be repaired, and is currently refueling more than 50%. Yeah, with 50 minutes, I reckon 75 liters is needed. He stops at 64, so maybe my estimation was wrong. And for some reason, Tauro has the windshield wipers on. Unfortunately, Tauro as well touched the line, so that's 3 seconds on top of him. Pro X close the gap further. We are below 3 seconds now, but I think Octavian is going to pit very soon, so that problem is going to solve itself. plus the around 10 liters. Octavian has to refuel the car more to reach end, in contrast to Pro X and Otaku. Will make the difference that at least Pro X will get the position back, maybe even Otaku. We will have to see for that. But definitely Pro X has to struggle with his tires. The front left is done 2/3, and we saw it now at least 3 times, I think, that he struggles in the first corner, missing the apex there and losing a bit of time. So obviously one has to keep that in mind to be cautious enough, but on the other hand, you want to send it, you want to push it. As you see, the car that you are chasing is just 2 seconds in front. I think that's going to solve itself now, as Octavian really should pit. But now there's barely any fuel left, visibly. But apparently it's good for 1 more lap. He's stuck behind Neue Sommer, but now he should go for the move. Yeah, he managed to do that. Sommer doesn't fight it, but yeah, letting someone through is something looks different in my book. Definitely compromise Octavian's line into turn 1, and the result is about half a second time loss to Pro X. Going to Pro X now. He has to deal with Sommer in the next 1 or 2 laps anyways, when he closes in. Shown blue flags anyway. Rotec, the leader, is approaching. And Octavian is visiting the pit lane now. So Rex in the pit lane. And we have 48 minutes to go, so that's a bit longer, but yeah, that should definitely be his final stop. I don't think it's sufficient to make a very short stint and then pit again and take new tires, and it's just not worth it. The pit lane is okay. You cut a little bit on entry, although you have 2 corners there to navigate. You cut on exit, but in general, a pit stop loses around 40 seconds, so you don't want to take any additional pit stops if not necessary. Octavian out and refueled the car around 70 liters, so that should be enough to go to the end. Curious to see, because Taro had less fuel in the tank as he rejoined a couple of laps ago, so maybe Taro underfueled or Octavian took it really safe. Anyway, he's now in 6th position, a minute ahead of Sommer, and 50 behind Otaku. Otaku and Pro X will stop, but probably have a shorter pit stop due to fuel. And that will be very interesting to see how the order will be. I reckon that Pro X can stay ahead, but he still has to navigate Sommer. For some reason, he's more than a lap now behind him, and that's clearly within a second. So Sommer should oblige to the rules and move aside and get out the way. There's some blinking with the indicator with the lights, but that's just yeah, plain stupid. And now Pro X sent it down the inside. Sommer still turned in. And I'm not sure if this was the cleanest move by Pro X, but it was simply stupid by Sommer not to give up the position. Not even the position. You don't even lose a position. You're shown blue flags. You have to follow the rules, and you don't. And as like Shishiman, you don't follow it, and out of your own fault, you get sent white. I have no remorse for you. Just follow the rules. Yeah, now he's pitting anyway, so if you pit anyway, you can afford to lose another second there by letting the other go. It's just not good racecraft. And Cowsville in second position, also in the pit lane. He's losing that second position right now as Shishiman goes on the start finish through turn 1, and I'm curious to see strategy. Usually 40 minutes is the planned stint of the hypercars. Now it's 45, so 5 minutes shouldn't make the biggest difference, and that should be Phil's final stop. Where's Rotek? By the way, he's leading lap 67 and Shishman in 65, gapped 2 minutes 6, and yeah, around 10 seconds between them on track here. Then Shishman would be 2 full laps down. Both have to do one more stop. Shishiman probably is going to be in the pits in the next 5 laps, and Rotek at the 1 hour 30 mark, so that's in 13 minutes. Pro X will be in for his final stop as well very soon. He has 4 seconds lead to Otaku. I think Otaku closed that slightly. What is Poctavian doing? That's 17 high, 18 low. So yeah, that's slightly quicker than the other two are doing. Especially Pro X had a slow lap then, lap 57, almost a 1 minute 20. But on the other hand, those two have to refuel less than Poctavian had to. And with 2 liters per second refueling speed, that's quite some time you have to stand in the pit lane. In some way, that's actually a good thing, because I mentioned it in the first stream I did in the Stint 2. It's really a Mickey Mouse course where you have no real chance to take a breath and relax for a moment. The track is very demanding. The back straight is the longest moment you can relax, but it's very short straight too. So you accelerate out and have maybe 5-6 seconds where you can relax, and then you have to focus again for the next braking zone. So to stand there in the pit lane for 30-40 seconds in total is the best moment to take a deep breath and refocus again. And focus is still a major part. It is a lot of work you have to do, and they're all natural track limits. So going too wide will become very painful. Pro X in the pit lane, losing that 5th position to Otaku. 4th position, sorry. And now's the question, with Poctavian 55 seconds behind, is that enough to stay ahead? Still refueling the car. Poctavian is on the back straight. Yeah, in the middle of the back straight. It's still a long way. And still fuel goes into the car. now around 50% should be enough. That's a bit more, 65 liters. And now he's going again. Otaku already in second sector. Poctavian in the last corner. It will be somewhat close. It will be very close. Where's Poctavian? Now approaching turn 1. And Pro X now accelerating, but Poctavian is through. Okay, yeah. So Flipsy should be back now, and you should see Flipsy's screen again. Flipsy, for your information, we can do a quick rundown. And Rotec is leading. I have to go for a minute. I'll be back right now. Give me a minute.
No worries, it's a perfect exchange, I would say. Livery of the day is live. You can go up to the straw poll link and vote for 4 different cars. All cars are included, the hypercar as well as the GTE cars that are racing. We had some cars in the first stint or even in the quali which do not participate any longer. Although they retired, I am missing their livery as well, so they are not included in the vote. Nonetheless, let me just get a picture of what we see. So Taro is in 8th place, Noyazoma in 7th, X-Pro in 6th, he was in the pits already. Octavian was in the pits as well, a little bit earlier than Pro. Otaku is still out on his soft tires and may pit in the next 2 laps. Chaos Phil still in 3rd, Shishiman is back in 2nd, but he's going to enter the pits any time now, so that could mean that Chaos Phil goes back on him again, and Rotec is yeah, still in 1st, and it might be very interesting to see where they end up compared to what we see in the other lobby. Speaking of it, let us maybe take a look at them. I could maybe even switch completely to them. But I'm kind of surprised that you just see a black screen, but okay, never mind. That's not what I wanted to show. Can I show you this? Perfect, I can. Do you want a sound on it? Do you want some sound? Can give you some like this? Now you hear something? Isn't it amazing? Yeah, we need to see what happens. To be honest, I just realized that they can't hear you for some reason. Oh, Confi is back and he's oversteering completely. Wait, let me just
shot tires that he now applied new softs, has mounted new softs.
Wow, so Confi is oversteering with his mic completely, but never mind. Let us go back to our class, and yeah, as we said, Rojek leads. Shishiman is in P2 and has kept P2 ahead of Chaos Phil.
Otaku is pitching,
Yeah.
and that should be close with Pro X.
So you say that Octavian is going to lead?
Yes.
I just hope that Noyazama will stay ahead, but will make space for Octavian. And I have to be honest, I'm quite impressed what Octavian delivers. But he needs to keep it until the end. Neuer now pulls Octavian through the whole way and is not letting him pass. So Neuer, I think he plays a kind of other team play. Not the way you want to, not even team play, but it's you have to be honest. I mean, you have to leave or let the other guys pass if you are showing the blue flags, and not only because of that, but you need to let them by if you are within their own class.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you caught that, but there was a similar situation 10-15 laps ago with Pro X, where Pro X was quicker, was behind for maybe 2 or 3 laps, had a look but weren't able to make the move slick. And when Sommer did a mistake, Pro X just went for it, which I think was the right thing to do. And there was some contact, and if Sommer just would have backed out, there would be no time loss. Yeah, Sommer's getting the head slide.
By the way, I just realized that only 4 people entered the livery of the day battle, and just to remind you, you can vote up 4 different cars because all other cars are combined. So it might be very interesting to see where who or which car will win at the end.
Vote for Rexy to make Charles happy.
You heard him. Do it. Do it. So Otaku is a little bit less than 3 seconds ahead of Octavian. Now is the question, Otaku needs to push Octavian as well. It's going to be interesting to see where it ends up, because Otaku has got less fuel in the tank compared to Pro and compared to Octavian, who has got less than Pro. Will Otaku save his fuel up to the end, or will Octavian catch him?
I think Octavian will suffer a bit more from the earlier pit stop, and Pro X will come close, but it's really up in the open if Octavian can defend the position. If Pro X can make the overtake, that will be really challenging with about 30 minutes to go. Also reminds me that WEC is going to pit very soon.
That sums up everything. I hope you didn't hear what happened. Tower has got a penalty. Although it's his debut in this series, I think there is lots of room for improvement for him. Now has got Otaku right behind him. Lets him past. Shows the indicator, and gonna be interesting if Octavian goes by as well, and Taro now completely lifts and lets every car by, which is a perfect example of letting the cars by with the blue flags.
That was very generous. I mean, yeah, the car is pretty much out of contention for the best slots anyway, so at least it's very sportsmanlike to not stand in the way.
Yeah.
Skylark Racer asked, why does Don and DLL have the best liveries?
That's just the rule.
That's just the
That's how
rule.
it is.
Irish Champ, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the series. I hope you enjoyed the stream so far. Grab yourself a Ettinger, and in case you want to, just stay with us.
Quite interesting. We have all cars now on the back straight. So the field is very close and bunched up. Lovely for the
Finally, I would
hypercars.
say. Even though Sommer has been lapped by Pro, Poctavian and Otaku, they are very close to each other. And Poctavian is catching Otaku. Which, in the end, I think Otaku can Poctavian let him pass. Because Otaku might play the long game. Even if Poctavian overtakes him now, there is nowhere near any chance that WSR is going to lose this position. They lead in the GTE class. Obelix and Otaku did a very solid job before. So even if they finish third or second, they still need to wait what happens in the other lobby. And even then, they've got enough of an advantage to just say, okay, get ahead of me, get past me, maybe you can even play it tactically on the field, on the track. Otaku has got a little bit less fuel than Poctavian, so he can push to the end. Otaku might stay in the slipstream and might even save some fuel as well. So there's a very, very, very big advantage for Otaku now.
We have Rotek now back on track, and he just played that out perfectly. He was the very last dot on the line, so he would have overtaken the whole field of GT cars within the next 2 laps. With that pit stop, he has now some fresh air. He has 25 liters left of fuel, which I think is a little bit less, to be honest.
Let's see, maybe Rotek is going to play some interesting games. Tommy, ich wünsche dir noch einen schönen Abend, schönen Urlaub noch in Berlin. Du hast mir übrigens auch noch nicht gesagt, wo du in Berlin bist, sonst hätte ich gesagt, ich sag dir mal Hallo. War es nicht die Ecke Südkreuz? Irgendwie klingelt's da. Schöne Weide, Südkreuz war die Ecke.
I'm going on Rotex, and it shows me his fuel map. He's driving in 2, 3 or 4, so he's actively saving fuel now. And I'm afraid it was too little fuel he put into the car. And I'm pretty sure that he has to pit again, because he cannot save, I think 10 laps or so are missing.
Maybe he accidentally pressed OK. Let's see. Ist Kreuzberg nicht die Drogenecke? Nehmen wir mal bitte eine, die nicht so ist. Yeah, Poctavian still behind. Otaku, yeah, Challenger. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoyed this race so far. Thank you for the follow, my friend. To be honest, maybe I'm gonna ask you something else, and I can't remember if I asked you this at the start of the 4th stint. Next month there is the Nordschleife, and we talked about being there in real life, what the race itself gives us or has shown us. Talking about this series, on the 9th September we will have the 24-hour race. On the 2nd September there will be the qualifying, and still it's going to be interesting in which way it's going to be, because I personally do not like that 2 drivers need to drive 40 minutes, which would be 5 laps each on the track, while Poctavian gets ahead of Otaku into turn number 1. He kind of likes to overtake there. Talking about the Nordschleife, We already had 2 teams joining this series today just to drive on the Nordschleife. Although now the voice chat is not going to work again. Beautiful. I might ask you in the chat as well, what do you expect from this race?
Sorry, you were cut off with
Yeah, I
internet
know.
issues.
I wanted to ask you, what do you expect from the race next month? What do you predict?
Actually, hell, there's no tougher race than the 24 hours of the Nürburgring. Le Mans is hard as is any 24-hour race, but the track is rather simple. You have a lot of straights. Daytona, again, you have the oval. It's a lot of time to rest, and it's a dry race only, I think. And with the 24 hours at the Nürburgring, it's really hell. The track 25 kilometers. If you do a mistake, it takes forever to repair the car. There will be night and day. There will be definitely rain, I think. So being on the right side of strategy is important. And then there's a track with 180 corners as Rotec is pitting, refueling. So you have to learn such a long 8-minute track in and out, and you have to know it by heart. It doesn't get any tougher than this. So this is obviously the ultimate challenge, and I really do hope that everyone is picking that up and is looking forward to attending this race. That we have one full lobby, maybe even a second lobby. That would be great. And yeah, what else can you say? It's the toughest, biggest, everything, greatest race of the year.
Meanwhile, X-Pro overtakes Otaku. As I said, Otaku is going to play the long game. He doesn't need to defend the position at all, because he's right behind them. Coming back to the Nürburgring Nordschleife topic, I personally think that this event is going to escalate completely. Not just because it's the Nürburgring Nordschleife, and I predict that the amount of registrations will be above 30. Or even 36, which would mean that we need to do 3 freaking lobbies, which means 3 different race days. I personally think that if we come to the Nordschleife, there will be a lot of trouble. We will have so many different cars racing on this track. Even if we have more than one lobby, we need to have fixed weather for the different stints, which means that there can be 3 hours of complete rain, there could be 3 hours of complete dynamic weather, which means that we could start with, or we couldn't because it's equal conditions.
No. Usually you're correct. If we do more than one lobby, it's fixed condition because both lobbies run at the same time. That's just not possible for 24-hour races. We need so many organizational helpers that if we do more than one lobby, there will be on separate days. And then we will have dynamic weather and time for each, but each race will count as itself, not it will not be compared with the first lobby, or if there's a third lobby with that. So every lobby will be separated of speed. The best teams into lobby 1, then lobby 2, and so forth. And lobby 1 will get full points. And 1 week later we have the same thing with dynamic weather, with change of time for the second lobby, but with less points. It's just not practical to do 2 24-hour races at the same time. That's just too much to ask from the organizational side.
Just one short question, do we have a table where all the points are registered? Or
yes.
like that?
We can post that later. Nushel has all the data collected.
Perfect. Because Article was asking for it a couple of times to me, and I said always, there is one, and we just don't know where. Nevertheless, if there is one, it's perfect. Speaking, or coming back to the topic, I think that there will be a little bit of discussion coming to the topic if you can choose a car. But all in all, I think that Nordschleife might be the best event that we have this year. Maybe Daytona 24 Hours could also compete against it, but I mean, you already said it. It's the Nordschleife. 25 kilometers of racing on one track for a lap. Pure tradition. Very hard track to master. I think in general, if we race there, it's going to be just enjoyable and fun, even if you mess up in whatever way. And I personally think you should build your teams in the way that even if the other constellation is faster and more successful, you should build it on safety and keeping it registered. So there is no retirement, no unexpected issue. Maybe have 3 or 4 reserve drivers ready instead of building on one who could only race on one stint and won't be available for the one the driver misses out. I think in general that this event is going to be complete chaos, complete enjoyment, complete entertainment. And I don't mean chaos in a way that's there will be structural issues or something else. I just think that Nordschleife is the event we are all most excited for. And even though we today have the issue that we need to race on 2 different lobbies with 8 drivers each, I think that on a Nordschleife it's going to be easier. And that's just my prediction, my bold prediction. Just wait for the 21st August, or let's say, just wait for the 20th August on a Sunday at 11:59 p.m. and just wait for the registration channel to see how many registrations will fall in until the clock hits 0, until the next day starts. Because due to our car rule that you can only pick 2 cars for each model, you're just going to run in your registrations to just somehow get a car ready to get a car picked, and it's gonna be interesting from my perspective.
Look at the battle for P4, 5 and 6. Octavian just made a mistake. Pro got through and Otaku is right behind them.
Yeah, Otaku is doing a perfect job. He's playing the long game. He just waits to see what happens ahead of him, and Octavian now on the straight before the start-finish straight is now on the outside for the chicane. Pro, he makes the move stick. He keeps it clean. Maybe a little bit touches here and there, but he stays ahead. And Octavian now needs to worry about Otaku behind of him, because I think the tires that he has on will sooner or later give up.
Yeah, I think so as well. He has the worst situation out of these 3, and shouldn't fight it too hard if it's inevitable. Most importantly, he's looking for a quick overall time. And yeah, you can see how quickly Pro X disappeared, already second in front. How Octavian is suffering right now with the tires.
Yeah. Very fun story about Octavian. The first time I raced against him was our 6-hour Dragon Trail race in a multi-class with a Group 3 and Group 4 cars. And we were battling each other in the Group 4 class. He was racing in a Subaru, and I was racing in the Toyota 86 back in Gran Turismo Sport. And he was driving together with a teammate, which I realized 3 days ago is in our team since Le Mans, and it's Plexus. Plexus was driving with Octavian together back there for Rentner Racing in Dragon Trail, and I realized it. And Octavian, as a substitute driver or as a reserve driver, jumps in for Zemetz, and this makes the little team I was fighting against in Dragon Trail back together. Plexus now drives for DON, and Octavian joined DLL. And that's maybe a nice little story maybe for you guys to have heard of. And if not, just keep it for yourself, please. Thank you.
So I'm not sure if you can hear Flipsy or Marcel.
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, you were gone for a minute there.
No. Carmel, it was Road Atlantic. No, it was Watkins Glen where I was blocked for the whole time. Dragon Trail was the track where in the last season of the HSK I was trying to drive normally, and in the last death chicane the car just randomly flew into the wall. And you couldn't
Bless you.
and you couldn't do anything against it. Thank you. Another one, wait. Woo.
Octavian still leading Otaku. ProX 2 seconds ahead. Octavian's setup is quite good for top speed.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the reason Otaku has such difficulties getting by the Porsche.
Yeah, that's what I meant. If you're right behind him and cannot pass on the straights, but you gain a lot of speed through the corners and want to carry the moment, it's just impossible because you have to brake way earlier and the whole momentum is just getting lost. But Otaku now, Octavian with a late braking maneuver, and he seals past Otaku. But there's no need to worry for Otaku in a moment. He can play the long game, as I said. Keep it fair, keep it out of any danger. I mean, they're leading by what? 1-2 minutes? Also incredible tactics. By the way, for anyone interested in football, about the German DFB-Pokal, the first Bundesliga club is out, and it's Werder Bremen.
No way!
They lost 3-2 in the extra time after leading 2-1 in the 80th minute.
Wow.
So they got 2 goals within 10 minutes, 15, and out of the DFB-Pokal.
That's news.
Dreierlachs, was denn? Nix Dreierlachs hier.
Bit more than 10 minutes to go. I think the positions are settled pretty much, except Octavian and Otaku.
And maybe even Pro if he does a little mistake, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
What about harder BSC? They won 5-0. Finally. Finally something. By the way, the fastest lap of the whole race was done by EJ with a 1 minute 6 seconds .3, am I right?
Yeah, if I remember correct, it was 0.3. Rotec did a high 0.4 just a couple laps ago. So yeah, I think the track
is slightly better, but nevertheless, those are very impressive times.
Taku is still following Octavian. Octavian, small mistakes here and there, really feeling the pressure, but not giving up. We had a handful of times that Octavian was overtaken, and the driver that overtook him thought, okay, that's done now. But Octavian fought back, hard on the brakes, or a maneuver that wasn't really anticipated by the other driver. So it's really fighting. Now once more onto the back straight. How good is the acceleration of Otaku? He's already closing the gap. Last round he was on the inside. I think to make the maneuver stick he has to really pin Octavian very close to the inside line, so there's no way to turn in for him. But again, he's giving him all the space to turn in. And with a lot of contact here and there, a bit of nudging, Octavian holds on, still in P5.
He's fighting for his life.
I think Otaku, the mistake he is doing, once he's side by side, he is going from the middle of the road completely to the right side, and Octavian follows him and has much more room at the entry of the corner to turn the car around. If he's really pinned on the inside line, there's little room for him. But now he has done a mistake. Unfortunate. Too quick into the corner, off track, now even the penalty. He fought hard and was very entertaining, but ultimately he has to give up that position now.
Kano, Karl Zeiss, Jena. Das hättest du auch rausgefunden, wenn du einfach Transfermarkt angeguckt hättest oder so. Das ist nicht so schwer. Oh, maybe another battle right ahead is Aston Martin against Porsche. But I don't think that Taro is going to seal an overtake by any chance. I think that he will just finish the race for the next 7 minutes right behind him.
Shishiman had a slow lap last time around, and Rotek got through. But so far everything stayed the same in hyperclass.
All in all, I think it's a pretty good performance from Rotek in this stint, although he had an issue and underfueled the car. I think very solid performance, way more lucky than he was in the last stint. He drove almost none to less traffic than last stint, very consistent lap times, very clean drive, and I think that this might be good for him.
Yeah, silly mistake. Other than that, you couldn't ask for more. No mistakes. I think 1 or 2 time penalties, but nothing too crazy. Keeping on the black stuff so far, and hopefully for the next 6 minutes, and I'm quite happy with the end result here.
Hello Plexus. I was talking about the way Octavian and you got back together today at least, earlier, 15 minutes earlier to the viewers. But I just randomly noticed that you two were racing together in a 6-hour race at Dragon Trail when we had a multi-class race with Group 3 and Group 4 cars. Where we battled against each other. And now you drive for DLL because DLL is the team you want to join. I'm just kidding. All in all, I think a very, very nice and heartwarming fact. By the way, if you haven't already voted for your favorite livery of the day, you might answer me this question.
Can you go on Cowsville? I'm thinking he's disconnecting.
It looks pretty much like it, and
Yeah.
he's gone.
Yeah.
Let me just clip it,
Anyone?
so
Yeah.
we have his cap saved at the moment he disconnected.
Yeah. About 5 minutes until the end of the race, so will be none to very little
looks
time
pretty
loss
much
for
like
him.
it.
But nevertheless, yeah, that's not what you want to see. You want to finish the race, get the rewards, and just have that feeling, yeah, I did everything and brought the car home. Yeah.
It's very unfortunate, but I must say that he fought really hard, tried his best, never gave up. And this as well is a lot of experience that you might need coming into an endurance series when you haven't got much racing experience. I know that Phil has got racing experience from somewhere else, so he has been driving in real life, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't know if he was racing for Formula Ford or something similar, but he has got experience in some racing classes. That's what I know, and it's always good to maybe have some racing experience if you come into racing and sim racing, because you can say it's pretty much the same thing if you race in real life and on the console, but everyone will agree with me if I say that's not the same thing. It's pretty much different, and you just need to get used to it, especially when you come from real life racing to sim racing. Can you remember the time where kind of a small disease hit around about 2020? Maybe you've heard about it. There was a whole pandemic over the whole world or something. It wasn't that big, but maybe you heard of it. Maybe you remember the Formula 1 esports or Formula 1 events that most of drivers have held. Especially like Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Alex Albon, Landon Norris. All of them, and they started to do some events where other famous guys were in, maybe like a goalkeeper from Real Madrid, Thibaut Courtois, or who the hell they invited. That was a time that people that were racing in real life saw that sim racing is in general maybe the same thing, but that it's a complete different story driving in real life and in a simulator. Dave Gaming was there too, that's right. I can remember that he was one of the lucky guys to race in there. Ash Ketchum, welcome to the stream. Thank you for your follow. I hope you enjoy the stream so far. I would love to be just to see you being Ash Ketchum.
Rotek is on his
Fortunately, you
final
tried.
lap. He will cross the line just before the timer, or the timer hits 0 just before he's hitting the line, so it's 104 laps. Yeah, I'm curious to see what that makes.
I think
the
he will do
overall standing.
105 laps, to be honest.
No, I don't think so. He will be short by 1 or 2 seconds. or he just having a really strong time, but I don't think he will. Fuel-wise, I think it's better for him to leave it at 104 anyways.
I think as well. I think too. But I think he will do another lap. 10 seconds left. Wow, it's gonna be really close. That's gonna be really close. 3, 2, 1. Okay, no, he won't do another lap. Rotec wins stint number 4 in lobby 1. Congratulations to him in the hypercar. Very, very solid performance. Chichiman, 2 minutes and 36 behind Rotec, will finish in P2. Let's just do not miss anyone crossing the start-finish line first. It is Pro winning the GTE class with 14 minutes 56 behind Rotec. Otaku matches at exactly 15 minutes. Shishiman, as I said, 2 minutes 36. Poctavian, 15 minutes and 5 seconds behind P1, finishes in P3 for the GTE class in this lobby. Very solid performance from him. Taro finishes in 5th with 18 minutes and 35 behind Rotec, and Neuer Sommer has got a little bit of track to drive until the end. So in case you want to grab any gaps, you can do it again as well. Rotec has finished 104 laps, Shishiman has finished 102 laps, X-Pro finished 91 laps, Otaku finished 91 laps as well, Poctavian finished 91 laps as well, Taro finished 88 laps, very jinxed lap, and Neuer Sommer will finish 90 laps with 17 minutes and 5 seconds to Rotec. Yes, guys, that was stint number 4. Very nice racing suit he has got on there. I wonder who created that one. I will save the replay. I will save the replay. Here you can see the results as well. Chaos Phil should have finished 3rd in the class. He had a disconnect like 5 minutes before the end of the stint, which is very unfortunate. Nonetheless, I will end the stream here because I have to get ready for my next stint and the last stint of the whole race. I hope you enjoyed this stint so far. Do not forget to vote for the livery of the day. The link is pinned in the channel, and I will repost it later on when the next stint goes ahead. Meanwhile, can we do something else? I know what we can do. And I can show you what is happening in the second lobby. Just need to turn on some sound. There you go. Eiffel Blitz is in first. EJ is second, and they are not a long way from them else. Confi completely oversteering. EJ fastest lap is a 1 minute 6.343.
For some reason he is on fuel mix 3. At least it is shown like that. Why is he on fuel mix 3? There's more than enough fuel to burn. There's no reason to drive with fuel mix 3. Can somebody
Confi is just
that he can go to fuel mix 1, please?
Confi is screaming at Shrodder because he has got fuel mixture 3 in it and he wants to burn him all the fuel he's got back in the tank.
Yeah, Cake Mac losing time.
Yeah, otherwise,
lap.
I will still end the stream here.
20s, 21. With the damage, it's of course a bit.
Yeah.
Confi is confused. Yeah.
Just stay here. Turn in let's say 10 minutes again. Just stay here. I hope you enjoyed it so far. Let me prepare for my next race, and then we might see us again in half an hour, 20 minutes.
Tornado,
See you then. Bye.
he is